Nicole.
Hello.
Very serious, very somber. We are doing Prey today. Prey is a new Hulu film that I was gonna just have pass us by, but you guys don't have to go to the theaters to see it. It's a 90-ish minute thing. It's gotten high reviews, and some of the movie circles I'm in, people were talking about Prey. So, did you guys, usual, not a lot of zero knowledge going in, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I think I saw it on Hulu when I logged in the other day, but that was about it.
I don't look at anything unless you tell me to, so.
That's right. Naru, a skilled warrior, fights to protect her tribe against one of the first highly evolved predators to land on Earth. So if you didn't know by the title Prey, this is a Predator movie. This is, I think, the 7th Predator movie.
That's absurd.
Wait,
it is absurd.
The series?
Yeah, this is good. This is good to have you on, Jess, because you don't know pop culture. So there's an '80s movie called Predator, and it's a very macho, manly man movie about these guys who go in the jungle and they fight the predator, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers and all these muscly guys, and they're shooting machine guns and they got to fight Predator. And that was a good movie. And then they made 5 more of varying degrees, which I saw none of. There's 2 actually where he fights Alien from Alien franchise. There's other ones where they've tried to reboot it, but this one is the first one that has been done like in the past, so like 300 years in the past, and it's also the first female lead in the series, I believe, as like the main person. A couple of...
Wow. It only took them 13 movies to do that. Wow.
I know, 7 movies... Finally, that's what I have to say. Finally. A Predator movie with a female lead, what everyone's been clamoring for. So if you haven't seen Prey, it's on Hulu, as we said, 92 Rotten Tomatoes with 79 on the audience, 7.2 on IMDb. So that's pretty high acclaim across the board. It's by director Dan Trachtenberg, who has only made one other full-length movie, which is 10 Cloverfield Lane, part of the Cloverfield universe. And that's, I think, my favorite movie in that series. So I want him to keep making stuff. He made a Black Mirror. He directed an episode of The Boys. I know people like that show. And he's a Philadelphia guy, so that's us. We like that. We like
Philly.
That's right. He's now that M. Night is making garbage still, we can maybe like this guy instead.
Okay, so, but he's a city treasure.
M. Night, yeah, we don't have
national treasure.
I don't know if I would go as far as saying national. M. Night Shyamalan.
All right, well, we're gonna go into spoilers now. That's all you need to know going in, and Hulu, go see it if you don't want to be spoiled now. So 1719 Great Plains, and it's Naru, who is a Comanche woman she's a healer as a part of her tribe, but she aspires to be a hunter, like her brother, Tabe, or I hope I'm saying these names right. They got like a squad of people that they're going out hunting, and one of the other guys kind of dogs on Naru. It's a very go make me a sandwich woman kind of mentality from the other hunters. So, but the brother is pretty good, and she's trying to do what's the ritual called? She wants to like do I can't remember what it's called.
You're really gonna give me some more context.
She's like, I'm gonna do my blankety blank, which is like a big hunt to prove you're a hunter, and then they do the ritual with the thing, and the chief
word that they used.
Yeah, the Comanche word. And also, we should say there is a Comanche version of this if you want to hear the original. I was gonna watch that version, but apparently it's just a dub. It's not I thought they were gonna do a parallel shoot kind of thing that they sometimes do, but it's just a dub over the English because they all speak English in this movie, is just the default, except for the French people, when we get to the French people. Anyway, the girl's trying to prove she's a good hunter, but she is having trouble, and then Predator comes to Earth. And if you haven't seen Predator before, like Jess, Predator is an alien. There's like a race of them, but they're basically this alien race of predators. They go down and they fight other predators for sport. And that's why they collect the heads and the skulls, and he's got the skull on his thing. So they're sport hunters, and a predator has shown up to Earth. But before the Earth we knew in the future predators, this is the first one. So he fights animals, and then he's gonna, what's gonna happen? He's gonna fight the girl, and the girl's got to prove herself, and she's got to use her wits and outsmart the thing. And anyway, Who's gonna start? Jess, start us off. What did you think of Prey?
Sure. So I told Karen that I told her I watched it and it was really good, and she was like, what is it? And I'm like, it's a sci-fi Native American movie, if that's even a genre. So that's how I described it as. I think I really liked this movie. I feel like I haven't watched a movie I really liked in a minute, and it was kind of like a breath of fresh air to watch something that I was addicted to and not want to take a break or look at my phone or even take my eyes off of it. I was fully in it. Yeah. There was some parts that I thought I didn't like, but we can go through that later. But I did keep wanting to see, like, learn about the Predator, what they're going to do to fight it. Like, I really, really like the dog, and I'm usually not even a dog person, but I really like this dog. And overall, I think it was really fun to watch.
Wow, I was I never would have expected the seventh Predator movie is the movie that gets Jess on board. Nicole, your thoughts opening?
I didn't know what to expect based off of I guess it was like the opening scene with the spacecraft. I wasn't sure if there was going to be like more than one, but I always thought there was just one Predator. I've never seen any of the other ones. I'm familiar with it though, so I wasn't sure. I didn't know that this was like a species. So with that, I thought it was going to be like an overtaking of a bunch of them. But I was actually happy to see it wasn't like that, and it was it sounds silly, but more manageable fight between what was going on. Like, it wasn't going to be this ridiculous, they took down 50 predators, you know?
No.
But I absolutely agree with Jess. I thought that this movie was really great. This is not the genre that I enjoy for the most part. I don't like alien stuff. I don't like fighting. But some of the skills and the methods and the use of the culture and everything in this movie really all work together well, in my opinion. I'm really surprised at how much I like this, because just the setting, I don't particularly like watching fighting stuff, but they really added a good element to this by following this young woman who has a journey. She has a goal, and she's tossed around by the other people in the community, but just like her perseverance and everything was really exciting to watch. So I was very pleasantly surprised.
I feel like me and Nicole had a really similar reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good. No, these are the ones I'm glad you guys have this reaction to it. I also enjoyed this quite a bit. Like I said, haven't seen the other Predators. I've only seen the first one. And I was looking at the Letterboxd reviews. It's the movie, like the social media app for movie people sharing. And there's one of the top reviews is from Consummate Marquis, and it's congratulations to the Predator franchise for finally having its second good movie, because there's fucking 7 and they're all trash except for the first one and now this one. So I mean I haven't seen this. I can't comment if they're bad or not, but yeah, this is good, and I like the Predator as a villain. He has rules. He has things he does. He's not just like a mindless monster, but he is, obviously an intimidating one. All of the characters are interesting. Not that there's a ton, but like our main character is very interesting. Her brother is a good character. We get the French people as just like a group of like, oh, we are evil Frenchmen. Oh, I'm like, all right, that's fine. And then the others, the other warriors who look down on Naru. But overall, it's a well-rounded group of things, and I like her journey. I like how she learns, and I like that she's people complain about the Mary Sue thing. Mary Sue is a character who is inexplicably good at everything. A lot of people point to Rey in the Star Wars sequels as a Mary Sue.
Mary Sue?
It's just it's like a manic pixie dream girl. It's a movie terminology for a type of a character
never heard
type.
of that.
Well, I'll explain it to you now. Mary Sue is when a character is inexplicably good at everything. Typically, it's a female character. People complain about that, but I think I disagree with that.
You're saying that's what people are saying about this?
That's a complaint that people have.
I totally disagree. They show her growth of
exactly
understanding her use of weaponry and trying different methods and not giving up.
I disagree with that too.
I also disagree. That's why I'm to break you down, because like she's not inexplicably good at everything at the beginning. She fails several times, which is good. That's what you should do for your characters, because that makes them arc. Because she can't hunt the rabbit at the beginning, and she tries to fight the big lion. That's her. I keep wanting to call it the Kumite, but that's from Bloodsport. That's not at all the same movie. But it's whatever her ritual thing is. She tries to fight the lion. The lion she can't beat it, and then the brother kills it. But then
there's so many things that show her adaptability, like when she gets stuck in the mud and she tries like 7 times to try to get her axe around the logs. She fails. She almost drowns. Like, what are they talking about?
No, I don't know. I just want to say, like, I think it's because when she fights the colonizers, she uses like her axe rope, and she does some kind of, Matrixy kind of like moves.
What do they want this movie to be 9 hours long, where we show her fucking training?
Well, that's one of my criticisms for the movie. I feel like her skills like jumped throughout. Like, she couldn't beat up her brothers, but then she beat up these, like, armed Frenchmen. But then she couldn't get the rabbit, but then she could, like, do that. So I feel like her skills weren't consistently growing. It was kind of, I don't know, up and down.
Interesting.
The fight with the Frenchman is the only thing that sticks out to me, because I think otherwise it's pretty consistent. But I think because they have to make the colonizers look evil and bumbling. They have to be both evil because they lock them in cages and they poke their weapons and they taunt and they use the native people as bait. But then they also have to be foolish because they need to, I don't know, that's what they want to do. They're fumbling with their pistols and they're tripping over stuff and the Predator's ripping them in half. And those are the moments where we're like, oh yeah, Predator, fuck up those stupid Frenchmen because they're the villains. So it adds because that's another thing is like Predator's the villain, like he's the bad guy, but you also want to see Predator fight some things. You want to see I like how Predator also escalates in the victims he fights. The first thing we see is the snake going after like the mouse, and he kills the snake, and then we see like a wolf fight going after a rabbit, and he kills the wolf, and that's a good setup later too for when we find out that Naru keeps getting away from Predator, but Predator decreasingly goes after her because Predator doesn't go after other prey. Predator goes after other predators, and we see that whenever she gets stuck, like when she fights the bear, the Predator kills the bear and lets her go because he doesn't see her as the threat. He wants to fight. He wants to fight other predators. He doesn't want to fight her because she doesn't look like a predator to her. But then obviously she's going to prove herself.
She got that right with how that worked, but then I thought she never really appeared to the Predator because she had that necklace which, like, changed her body temperature, and so he couldn't detect her.
Yeah, was that what the necklace was doing? I know because you are right. The Predator, uses heat vision, so like when
infrared stuff. But then she gave that medicine to the guy that was dying, and it made her really, really cold. And then she noticed that the Predator couldn't see him. So I thought because she was wearing that, that's was really actually interesting. The reason.
I didn't think about that. Maybe it was always
she kept,
the shield.
She kept looking down on it, like after she figured it out. So that's what. Then I thought she kind of put that together.
That could be. I thought she was going to use the mud too, because the cold mud. That's a callback to the original Predator. That's how Arnold Schwarzenegger gets away from Predator. Is he covers himself in mud. I didn't even think
about the fact that it was on her person all the time.
Yeah, I didn't either. Actually, that's a good point.
She had it on a necklace, so then I thought she put together like, oh, it's because I'm wearing this. That I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know.
It could be a double thing because the way to fight Predator is to be cold so he can't see you on the heat sensor thing, and for him to not think you're a threat and then sneak up on him kind of way, which is, I guess she really uses both because the cold thing, and I think the cold thing is cool too because like we find earlier on, like one of the guys in the party goes, before we fight Predator, the first half, we're on like a search and rescue mission to find one of the other members of the tribe, and they give him the leaves to cool him down, and I thought that was like how he like avoided detection. But I think it's also Predator doesn't want to fight. Predator's here to fight. Predator wants to like he's a big game hunter. He doesn't want to go and like fight all these weak things. It doesn't appeal. So it's an interesting thing. And then I really like the way the third act is shot when the brother is injured and like they're in like the foggy, smoky thing, and it fucks with Predator's invisibility shields. It's another thing we should mention. Predator has like an invisibility like thing on him. It doesn't like it's not like perfect tech, but
he's really got the cards in his favor, I'll tell you.
Yeah, and like that's another cool thing is like a lot of Predator's tech here is like it's advanced, but it's a little behind for the Predators we know in the future because it's 300 years ago. So like he's a moving through space alien, so he needs to have better stuff, but he doesn't have as good a stuff as he will in the future movies. So I like how they chose to do that. They also have a callback to, I haven't seen it, but the second one, apparently that pistol at the end, you know, that old like wooden pistol that she hands like the chief at the end. I guess that is someone recovers in the second Predator movie, and like it's like on a Predator ship or something. I don't know exactly, but I guess the implication is that the Predator or a Predator of some sort must come back later. And I think they show it in the end credits. They show like the cave paintings, and it shows like the people fighting the Predator and like, you know, the basically telling the story of the movie. And then at the end, it shows a cave painting where there's one, like the sky opens up and another one comes through the sky. So maybe one's coming back. I don't really want a sequel to this movie because I think it's kind of a perfect little tight story.
Well, you know, they got to fuck up everything under the sun ever all the time. So
yeah, they finally find a Predator movie type that works, and then they're just going to beat it into the ground because that's what they like to do. Naru, main character, we like her. I think she's a pretty well-rounded protagonist. Good performance by Amber Midthunder, the actress.
We do like her, but I think she was sometimes as stupid as like the protagonist in a scary movie. Like she goes after this bear, very well knowing like this is right after she couldn't get the rabbit. So then she's like, okay, let me try a bear now. And it was almost so stupid watching her like fumble around with her bow and arrow for like 10 minutes as she's shit, what did I get myself into? The dog, thankfully, like distracts the bear while she's still fumbling with this bow and arrow. And like, I know this is showing her growth, but every time she gets the opportunity, she doesn't strike, she just runs away. And I'm just like, she needs to start off a little bit smaller before she's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, okay, let's start with a rabbit. Then maybe like work your way up to like a fox and like a deer. And then you can like, you can go for the bear.
Then she goes rabbit, then bear, then lion, or like rabbit, lion, bear, something like that. She really escalates it.
Yeah, but the brother told her that's what got him to kill the lion.
It's also we find out when the brother brings the lion back, he used her strategy to do it. So we find out she's like
she's very smart and she thinks ahead and she's observant, which is I think puts her ahead of the rest of the men because they are not observant. But you need skills plus observation to be able to to fight something, not just observation.
That's why oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was able to kind of put aside in my head when I get annoyed with how they make people so unrealistically crafty, you know, at a certain point. But I actually didn't mind hers. What I mean by that is the ending where we see the ultimate demise of the Predator and how she concocted that whole maze of things. Her ingenuity there with understanding that there's a laser and all that stuff, like I was able to look past that was really advanced for her to figure out in such a quick time. And also I called exactly what was going to happen. But anyway,
that he was going to die in the quicksand.
Yeah. But I didn't mind it. Like I could look past how quickly we had to progress through her skills. Because I just liked her.
Well, yeah, because once it says like the after the midway point is where she actually runs into Predator after the bear fight. And then she gets captured by the French guys not too long after. The tribe tries to catch her, but then Predator fucks them up. Her tribe also is willing to like beat the shit out of her and like drag her back to the camp if necessary too. It doesn't pull it. The writing and the dialogue at the beginning is a little stiff and it sounds a little weird for me coming in with the English, and it doesn't sound like old English. It's very like it's like very 21st century. Yeah, and I was able to get past it. I do find it a little distracting, which is why I kind of wish I watched the Comanche version because I want to watch it. Like, that stuff distracts me when I'm watching a period piece and I hear them talking like, like today people. But it's not a deal breaker. But
I feel like I'm more engaged because they talk like we do now. If it was,
I figured you would.
Then I would have been like, that might have been too much of a distraction for me to relate.
You can't relate. You can relate. They talk like now people.
But I'm surprised the French people when they're talking, it wasn't translated into English. It stayed in French. The caption.
Yeah, it wasn't for us either. I wonder if we had if the default setting, if that was on purpose, because we're supposed to be like her and confused what they're saying.
Probably, if they're going to that might have been a choice. In her language as well, yeah.
Yeah, but that's part of the distraction too. When the one guy who speaks Comanche is like, I speak many languages. I speak Comanche, but he's speaking English. I'm like, all right, I understand it. They do it in other movies too, but it's whatever. Good. What other things?
Did anyone else feel bad for that guy at all at the end?
Which guy? The brother or
the French guy that
the translator guy
tried to save? Mm-hmm.
You felt bad for him. You didn't want him to.
I did a little bit. And then I remember that he's
the one that she froze.
Yeah, and then he stepped on him and he fucking screamed from getting stepped on. I didn't feel bad for him there, but then I remember he's a colonizer and I didn't feel bad for him anymore.
But he was the only nice one to her.
Well, the fact that she froze him, was she doing him a favor in like letting him die that way, or was it like actually going to help him?
I think she was trying to help him.
Yeah, I think she was trying to.
I couldn't tell if it was like actually going to like help his whatever like.
Well, it did make him not visible by the infrared at that point.
Yeah, and that's how she figured it out, and that's how I thought.
That is how she figured it out. Yeah, but that's the thing is I don't think she was trying to. I think she was trying to help him because later on we see the other guy, the main bad guy, the main bad Frenchman, and she does not help him at all. She just steps aside. I love that when she's like, "He's not Predator's not after me."
I thought she was putting him out of his misery by having him not agonize by his lost foot, but just freeze to death rather.
I think it's because that leaf, what would you say, it slows your heart rate down, and that's why it makes you cold, but it's so that you don't bleed out. I think it's I think that's the purpose of that thing. So I think it was just buying him time, but I don't know. Yeah, because I don't think she was fucking with him, because later on, the bad Frenchman, the main guy, he comes out and she just steps aside and lets Predator walk right by her, and Predator just absolutely demolishes the French dude. I love that. I love that she's like, he's not after me. He doesn't think I'm the threat. He thinks you're the threat because he's got the gun.
That's the one that killed her brother, right? So she wanted him to die.
Yeah. He was the main bad one. I think he stabbed the brother with the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so she wanted vengeance. That was the whole point.
Yeah, that one was satisfying. But yeah, I thought for a minute it was gonna end is Predator gonna be her pet / teammate kind of thing? Because Predator doesn't want to hurt her, but she's clearly been leading him to things to fight, and that's what Predator wants to do, is fight big things. So I was like, I wonder if it's gonna be her, the dog, and Predator roaming the countryside, fighting colonizers. That'd be
fucking horrible.
But I agreed with her original thoughts. I thought it was just a robot that couldn't die.
I like the way she defeats it too. She uses its own it's lock-on missile kind of thing, and she uses the skull that has the thing to redirect it right at him in the mud pit at the end.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's really advanced for her.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I find being a stretch.
Yeah, I just,
okay. You thought it was too much.
think about that. I'm like, wait, what just happened? Like the laser and like his hat, and then like I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't think of another way to like. What's a more clever way for her to kill it though? Because like he.
Well, I thought the quicksand. I thought he was just gonna sink.
Just sink.
In the quicksand. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he sinks in quicksand, you know what you have to have at the end of the movie is the shot of him pushing his fist up through the mud,
squeezing out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you can't just like if he just sinks in the quicksand, that's too much of a but is he gonna come back kind of ending.
Yeah.
But not that changes anything anyway, because the ending we get kind of is predators are coming back to Earth to do something. So, but that's all fine. She beats Predator. She gets like rewarded by the tribe, even though the whole tribe just lost like. I don't know, like half their hunting party, I think, because the Predator does wipe out like all those other guys, and the brother. So, I guess it's an optimistic, pessimistic kind of ending. What other thing? Do we have any other? Did the CGI bug anybody on any of the animals? Because pretty much all the animals are CGI in this, and
like the bear, yeah.
The bear. That's the one that distracts me. The rest are okay. Like I thought the wolf was okay. The snake was okay. But the bear was a little weird looking. It didn't quite look like a real thing. I'm like, a little.
I actually thought that about the lion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when it jumped up into the tree when they were all sitting in there, I was like, ew, what is that?
Ew.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can you do, though?
Yeah, well, yeah, you can't have it, like, trying to do it with either real stuff or, like, a stop motion. Like, it's what they had to do. And I'm surprised it didn't look terrible. The bear looked a little weird, and I didn't really notice the lion too much. But I don't know what the budget for this was, but it didn't look terrible. It wasn't, like, a low-budget piece of crap kind of movie.
No, I thought they did good with Predator.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, Predator looked great. I thought Predator looked excellent. He has a kind of different look. I think to go U.S. Wait, Predator's got dreads? Why is Predator?
Well, I knew what he looked like, but I never knew what they were. If they were like cords, like I don't know. I never saw.
They're just they got the big mouth, and it's like a clawy kind of mouth. They got the dreads, and I don't know. I like Predator design. I think he's a cool looking villain. This made me want to go watch the other ones, even though I guess they're all bad, but.
I thought at first, before we could see what he looked like when he was just like the Invisible Man, I actually thought it was a person. Just because, like, it had 2 feet, it stood up, it had 2 arms, and I thought it was kind of like the Hulk kind of guy, not like a...
Yeah,
someone from the future or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that that he stands up and looks so human-like. I wonder why they did that. Like, I guess
so we all pretty much like this movie, and I've seen the original, but none of the others. Any interest in going and seeing the others, or is there any interest in seeing more from this, or is it just a good standalone story and that's all you want?
I mean, I'll take that dude's opinion online. This is the second good one, so
you'll take the word for it.
I'll trust his instinct, and I won't ruin it for me. I'll stop here, or maybe I'll see the next one and have good ratings too.
You can watch the original one, but it is an 80s movie, so I know how you feel about movies that are old. Yeah.
I also really like Native American stuff, so I was already drawn to this from the beginning.
That's true. There are no Native Americans in the other. It is by far as I know in the other one. So yeah, that was your calling card on this one. Nicole, any interest in other ones or not really?
Absolutely not. This
Leave
is
it alone.
That I like this. Yeah,
this is a fluke. So it sounds like then we are recommending Prey. Any other things you guys wanted to mention on the thing? Any other parts that stood out, good or bad? Or?
There was one really gross part where the rats were eating that guy's leg. That's where.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit of like their gore in here is mostly cartoony because it's a predator like ripping animals in half, and that's all CGI, so it looks kind of like it's whatever. But yeah, the rat. I forgot about the rat gnawing on the stove.
There were like a couple like funny parts where it's like the part where the hyena or like the wolf was trying to catch that bunny, but then Predator got the wolf instead. But then they have a shot of just the bunny looking all innocent and just like watching what happened. But it's like it was like a funny thing. Like they do have a small, like, here and there, like, funny little tidbits.
Yeah, I do like when they punch a little bit. There's sometimes too when Predator's fighting the colonizers where they like shoot all their stuff at him and Predator's like unfazed and then he clicks like 2 buttons on his little wrist thing and they all die. Like there's some light, very light comedy touches. Sometimes the brother and our main character have some good back and forth. But yeah, it's
my
nice,
favorite
little
thing that I learned about this is the man that plays the brother. His name is Dakota Beavers, and this is his first acting role. And right before he started working on this, he worked at TJ Maxx. And I fucking love that. And
that's great.
It's so cool.
He just auditioned or something, and they were like, "Yeah, like this is your calling."
He just was working at TJ Maxx beforehand. He's 22.
They wanted an all Native American cast, so the net's a little more narrow of your choices, and I'm sure they wanted unknowns. I'm sure they didn't want any of the main people. So yeah, I think it all worked out pretty well.
I think so too. I'm really surprised at how much I enjoyed that.
Yeah. One thing I did not. Well, okay. One last thing. So she she ran, and then her leg got caught in an animal trap. But then, her leg was not injured the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, it gets her kind of in the upper ankle, so it's not quite like in the foot. It's kind of around her
she had one scene where it was a little rotting.
Yeah, she pulled out her sock and it was just like a bruise, and I was like, wait, I thought it mangled you.
It didn't inhibit her from fighting and running, which was surprising.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I think
if that thing could take down a whole fucking bear, how can she go and jump
I thought
off
that was going to be a major setback, and it was just nothing.
That's true.
Well, that's part of people's complaints. It's how could this girl take out the giant predator? I'm like, well, it's first of all movie. Second of all, if you get the strokes of the character, then you accept the reality you're given. And I do like as far as the leg injury. There's a parallel scene when she's healing herself with that. It's a mud type thing she's putting in her wounds, and Predator is sealing up his wound. He's got this big he's got this thing that seals his wounds closed, like a laser kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So and they show it at the same time. That's nice. It's they're getting ready for their final showdown, and the title too. All the other movies are Predator movies, and this one's Prey. And it's is she the prey, or is Predator actually the real prey in this one? Because she's the hunter. I don't know. So we recommending Prey then, Jess?
Yeah, I don't like action movies, but this was, I would say, action-esque, and I couldn't take my eyes off it. It's rare that I take a break or check my phone or something, but I was really fully engaged, and that's rare to happen, so they did this right.
Oh, very, very high praise. Nicole?
Yes, and I think we already told my mom yesterday to watch it.
I think so too. I think this is a pretty universally accessible movie. It's not too long. It's fun. It's pretty simple. Some good kills. Couple funny things. Clever. Yeah, good movie. So 3 recommends for Prey, and we've got other stuff like a host pick coming. I think it's Nicole's. So gear that up. Yeah, pressure is on. Usually pretty crowd pleasing stuff. Usually, you're the only one who doesn't like your own pick, so we will we'll be doing that. I think we have another. Speaking of Predator, we have Beast. I think we're gonna do the Idris Elba movie where he fights a lion.
I also like that.
Yeah, we'll get another Idris. We love our Idris Elba doing stuff on this show. So, and then I think that's most of the August stuff. A couple of random things here and there, but not a ton of big things. And then we'll see what the winter brings us, because that's when the Prestige pictures come out. So we'll see what's coming. I've seen some good trailers recently, so I'm optimistic. This has been a good year. 2022 has been a good year of movies, I think. Best one for the most part. In the meantime, things to recommend to us? Questions? Anything like that? Films with the Women in My Life on Facebook. Reach out to me on Instagram. I'm Brennan_podhost. And you can email the show, filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Thank you guys for being on Prey.
Adios.
Yeah, it was fun.
Until next time, this is Brennan signing off, saying thanks for listening and enjoy your movies.
Thanks for listening to Films with the Women in My Life. If you enjoyed being a listener in our life, please rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcast app. Keep up with the latest from the show on Instagram at Brennan_podhost, on Facebook at Films with the Women in My Life, and on Twitter at FilmsWomenPod. Finally, you can email the show with questions and suggestions at filmswiththewomen@gmail.com. Original music for the show was created by Ian Burke and Chris Iwanek. Original artwork created by Nicole D'Alessio. This show is produced by Brennan Snyder. Thank you again for listening and enjoy your movies.